Here, head trader, True Trading Group, May 29th. Welcome back. Hope everybody had a very relaxing and enjoyable Memorial Day weekend. So short week this week. Started things off on Tuesday. It was an okay day, guys. The market was down big, down 500 points at the low on some of this fears over the financial situation and the political turmoil in Italy. I think it's an overreaction. I really do. I'll start my video with saying that. The market sold off when there was the Brexit. It was an overreaction. Market recovered. It wasn't a big deal. Market sold off when everything was going on with Greece. Market recovered. It wasn't a big deal. I don't think this Italy situation is that big of a deal. It is a bigger deal than Greece. Italy is the third largest economy in Europe. So obviously bigger than Greece. But I don't think that there's really that much to worry about. I'm not one of those doom and gloom guys that thinks the market's just going to crash and roll over and we're going to get that death cross where the 50-day crosses over the 200-day. I don't think that's going to happen. I do expect the market to be higher at the end of the year than it is now. So I'll start my video off with saying that, guys. But really, what I'm going to talk to you about with this video is the importance of being diversified as a trader and not just being a one-trick pony. Because it's important for you to know what you're good at and to know what you like and to know what to trade and what you like to go after. But being a one-trick pony is not going to really get you anywhere as a trader. It's important to be diversified because on a day like today, when the small cap market was very, very quiet, okay, there was only one stock that was gapping up more than 20% pre-market. Okay, there was really not a lot of action in the small cap arena pre-market at all. There wasn't a lot of gappers. There wasn't a lot of small cap stocks that were trading high volume. So I said, okay, well, now it's time to develop a game plan elsewhere. And I looked to mid caps and I looked to this Momo on an earnings play. And it was a great setup, and it was where I made the bulk of my profit today was in Momo. I made 3 trades today, guys. A small profit in AXON, a nice profit in Momo, and I took a small loss in BGI. I'm going to go through all 3 of those trades with you today, and I'm going to start things off with this Momo. Okay, so Momo. This is an example of a double bottom gap up. Was not an easy trade. It was very, very choppy in the morning. But nonetheless, this is a double bottom gap up, and I'll show it to you. So a double bottom gap up forms when a stock gaps up and then pushes higher off the open, establishing that initial morning low right here. Okay, the stock then fades and pulls back in to retest that initial morning low and holds. The trigger for this trade is a high volume break above VWAP. We popped our heads above VWAP, guys. I got long right here at 43.43. Okay, I'll take it to my trade announcements. This is the BGI trade. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to go over this trade with you in a moment. I'm going to go over the Momo trade first. So here you guys see long Momo 43.43. Stop loss 43 area mental. Okay, back to the chart. So that's where I got long on that break above VWAP. Now, typically, you like to see stronger volume on that break above VWAP. Okay, you want to see of this kind of volume bar. We didn't get it, so I was a little concerned with this trade when I initially entered it. And you can see it got choppy. It didn't hold VWAP. It pulled back below it. Then we popped back above VWAP. VWAP started to hold support. Right in here, VWAP started to hold support. You can see then we broke below VWAP and then finally took off. So that's what I mean by it wasn't an easy trade. Usually this trade will trigger with a high volume break above VWAP. VWAP holds support and the stock continues and pushes. We didn't get that action on Momo. It was a little bit of a tougher trade, but this is an example where sometimes you just have to trust. You just have to trust the setup. That's kind of what I was doing with this Momo trade. We ended up breaking through the high of the day right here just before 10:45, and I took some profit off the table. So let me go back. There's my entry point, and here was my first take profit. Take you back to my trade announcements. Took some profit, Momo 44.35, so just under $1 a share profit, still holding some. Okay, so still holding some. Now, what I want to point out to you is this $44 level was key, and it turns out to be key later on in the day, and I'll show you that as well. So here you see the initial morning high is 44. Okay, we break through that initial morning high with an increase in volume. That initial morning high then starts to hold support. Okay, that's when I say, okay, you know what, guys, this looks good. We might start to push. My target on this is 45. I pan this out. You can see we started to make our climb up here, guys, right when we got to this $45 level. I sold the bulk of my position right there. I had 2,000 shares, guys, so I sold 500 shares here, and I sold 1,000 shares right here at, take it back to my trade announcements, 44.90, still holding some. Okay, so I had 2,000 shares, sold 500 here, sold 1,000 here, still holding 500 shares, and I still have those 500 shares, holding them overnight, looking for some possible follow-through and possible continuation tomorrow. Okay, the thing that I liked about this Momo was it held this move today very, very well, held this gap up extremely well. What I want to point out to you here now is why this $44 area became key later in the afternoon, and is why I decided to hold on to that final 500 shares overnight, looking for a move up to 46, 47 tomorrow. And it's because the initial morning high, which is 44, lined up with VWAP right at 44. And when we draw our Fibonacci retracement level, we can see what else lined up with that 44, the 23.6 Fibonacci retracement level. So now we have the 23.6, an initial morning high, and VWAP all converging on 44. We pull back in just before power hour, 3 o'clock, test it, and bounce off it real nice from 44, make a move back up there to 45.20, and then close. Okay, so I like that action in the afternoon. That's why I decided to hold on to 500 shares, see if we get a little bit more of a further push and continuation, maybe up to 47 on this Momo tomorrow. Okay, so still holding on to some of that position. All right, so I'm going to delete all this. I'll take you to my second profitable trade on the day was AXON. Small profit, guys. This was intended to be a swing trade when I initially opened the trade. Okay, guys, I got long right here at 149 for a swing trade. And I'll take it to the daily chart. Well, I'll show you my trade announcement first. So here it is, the 1028. Swing trade long, AXON 149, stop loss $1.38. Okay, so I intended for this to be a swing trade. I sold out of this position before the close, so I do not have a position. I intended it to be a swing, but things changed later in the afternoon that I did not like and caused me to exit that position before the close. So before we get to my exit, let's talk about why I entered the trade. Let's go to the daily chart. You can see on the daily chart, this stock has gotten absolutely destroyed. Okay, I mean, huge gap downs, 2 huge gap downs. And now, as we come into play here, you can see this huge volume breakout day, which looks to be a bit of a bottoming out pattern. And it was really the MACD indicator is what I liked about this setup. You can see great bullish divergence. Share price going down while the value of the MACD is rising. And you couple that with a zero-line crossover. We just went into positive territory on the MACD. There was a lot to like out of the MACD indicator on this AXON, and that's why I like this as a swing trade setup. That's why I alerted it as a swing, because I thought we were going to get maybe another day tomorrow. Okay, so that's why I initially entered this trade, right? I'll put my entry back right here at $1.49. And it got weak in the afternoon, guys. Okay, it was forming this real nice flag pattern here. Okay, and I said to all of our members in chat, guys, I don't want to see this stock try to make a move during lunchtime. I hate stocks that make moves during lunchtime. They tend to fail more often than not. It's hard for a stock to break out during lunchtime and hold that strength for the rest of the day. There's too much time left in the day. People start taking profits, and it's difficult for a stock to hold that move and stay strong all throughout lunchtime. That's why I like for stocks to just hold above support during lunchtime and then make their move in the afternoon, 2:30. All right, so I was hoping that this AXON was going to hold above VWAP and hold above the 38.2 fib level. Okay, you can see here's the 38.2 fib, which we found support at right here, and we were holding VWAP support later that morning. So I was looking for that to hold, okay, throughout lunchtime and then make its move in the afternoon. But it took off during lunchtime and it broke through the high of the day. I hate when that happens. Okay, so I immediately, when that happened, guys, I immediately took some profit off the table at $1.60. Take you back to my trade announcements. Here it is. Took some profit AXON at $1.60, still holding some. Sold 25% of my position at $1.60 because I thought that we were going to fail. I thought the trade was going to fail. I thought the stock was going to roll back over. I didn't trust that there'd be enough strength and momentum for us to continue through lunchtime on that lunchtime breakout. So I took profit there at $1.60. Turns out, guys, that I was right. We ended up pulling back in. We failed at that break through the high of the day. We pulled back in, and VWAP started to hold support. So when this was happening, I said, okay, you know what? VWAP is holding support. We're about to get into the afternoon session. This is a good sign. Maybe we're going to continue. We're going to bounce off VWAP and start to climb our way back up to 160. Then I would have liked it. I still would have been holding on to my position, looking for that swing trade. But then VWAP broke. And you see we sold off down all the way back down to that 38.2 fib line. I just feel like if there was real momentum in the stock and there was real demand in the stock, that VWAP hold at 2 o'clock would have been the place the stock would have bounced off of, and you would have seen volume come back in, the stock start to climb its way back higher. But we didn't see that. That support level ended up breaking. So the failed breakout at lunchtime, VWAP support then being broken at 3 o'clock, those things, the low volume going into the close, all those things were why I decided to sell my position. Sold out remaining AXON at $1.49. So break even on the bulk of my position, took some profit just on 25% of my position. So a small, profitable trade. Still on my watch list for tomorrow, okay, because of that MACD. I just didn't like the afternoon. I didn't like the way the stock traded in the afternoon. It was very weak action in the afternoon for this AXON. So I decided to cut bait before the close. All right, and last I'll get to BGI, which was actually my first trade of the day. Okay, this is a quick trade. This was my losing trade. And let me start by drawing this Fibonacci level out. Okay, so here's our Fibonacci level. BGI, big, strong opening bar. Okay, pops up on my radar. I wasn't looking at it pre-market, but pops up on my scanner, shoots up, nice volume. And I start to see VWAP converge on the 38.2. We put this tail in, the stock bounces off of that level. So I said, okay, you know what? Volume was still very heavy. I thought that was a great area for me to get long. And I jumped in long at 215. Okay, so let's go back. So I jumped in right here at, I don't know why it's, there we go. I jumped in right here at 215, okay, using that right below $2, which was a 38.2 and VWAP. That was my stop loss right below $2. Looking to see if we were going to continue. We pushed through the high of the day. Okay, and then a lot of selling pressure came back in. I mean, we pushed through the high of the day. We put in a high of 235, and the stock immediately collapsed back down to 210. Okay, a lot of selling pressure came in. I didn't like that action at all. This was, I was playing this as, a small cap, kind of like smaller float runner type of play. So I didn't like that selling action that came in there as soon as you broke through the high of the day. So when I saw that, I sold out some. I lightened my position at 214. So sold out some BGI at 214, still holding some, because I did not like the way that we broke through the high of the day and immediately pulled all the way back in, lower than when I initially bought the stock. Okay, I bought at 215. We pushed 235, and within seconds, we're back at 210. I was like, whoa. So I wanted to lighten my position there. Did not like that, and then you can see I stopped out the rest of my trade. Here we go. Sold out remaining BGI 195. Okay, so right there on that candle break, I sold out the rest of my position at 195. All right, so I took a loss on that BGI, and very small profit on AXON, but Momo was really the play of the day for me. Still have 500 shares. We'll see if I get some follow through tomorrow. But again, guys, it just goes back to being able to recognize that, you have to take what the market gives you. Okay, you can't force things. There really wasn't a lot of opportunity in the small cap market today, but there was in some of the larger cap names. There was a lot of movement and volume in mid cap, large cap stocks today with the market being down as much as it was. So you have to be able to adjust and set your game plan according to what the market gives you. If the market's not giving you small cap gap and go runner type plays, don't try to force it. But if the market's giving you, big earnings gap up in mid caps that are above resistance levels, and you look for some push to new highs or whatever it is, then that's where you need to focus your attention. Okay, so don't try to force things that aren't there. Again, yes, it's important to know what you're good at and to know what you really love, but at the same time, in the same breath, it's important for you to be diversified and be able to apply the education that you learn and the rules that you develop. It's important that you can apply those rules and that education across multiple markets and multiple asset classes. Okay, and that's really it. All right, so we'll see what this Momo does tomorrow, guys. Again, still long sum, looking for a little bit more. I'll see you in chat. Take care.